Alright, Transformers family, welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at a figure that I was not looking for. I hoped I wouldn't come across this figure. I was out doing a toy hunt, actually trying to find slag, and I found Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Commander Class RODIMUS Prime, which is what I call another false classification from Hasbro. You know, they put a few extra things with it and bumped him up in classification. I do not believe he is a true Commander class figure. I'm gonna quit talking and let's get to it. Here he is in his box packaging. There's no window for this. All the Commander class figures to this date don't have a window where you can see the figure within. And here's the artwork for Rodimus Prime running in the battle. It looks great. Here is the artwork for the Winnebago from Hell mode right there, and it looks just like the toy. It kind of looks kind of crap right here. Transformer Kingdom 8 up, Hasbro, Transformer Generation, Takara Tomy, Rodimus Prime right there. Side of the box, the continuation of the artwork, the same Transformers Kingdom motif on the box. Right here says Commander Class right there. Multiple languages. On the back of the box, we get the product shot. Like, I'm prejudging this figure. I haven't actually had hands on it, but like I said, I've seen it, and I really wasn't trying to buy it. The 80 bucks kind of hit me hard. I debated and I debated, but I picked it up. So with the slit of the tape, let's get Rodimus out of the packaging. And as I like to present the unboxing, there's nothing further in the box. Ta-da! In his box, other than the toy, is this collector's card with the golden disc on one side, the ARC on this side, and when we peel back the sticker, who do we have underneath? And it is the ARC yet again, crashing yet again. Man, the ARC can't fly for jack. He has this thick instruction booklet right here, pamphlet, fold out, leaflet, whatever this thing is, and it is thick, man. You know, I only use instructions, but we might need it here. I'm gonna try to go hard on it, but we'll see. And do not choke on your figure right here. Get that out of the way. Here is Rodimus Prime. He's actually packaged in vehicle mode. I thought we would get a standing bot, but that is not the case. This is the trailer, the gun deck, and a few blast effects. Let's start getting this guy out right now. And if you don't want to see this person, you can always fast forward. I think that's it for the trailer. And here we go. It is open up fully. Man, it's like I don't even know how to start this review because the different pieces are in various modes. But I think I'm most likely going to go with the trailer first. Here's the gun deck. Anti-aircraft, whatever it is. I don't know the technical term. Here is Hot Rod. The Hot Rod car mode. And I don't know. It's a hefty little compacted little thing. It has some weight to it, I tell you that. And put that thing down. And here are the extra weapons and blast effects. Alright, my formula is I unbox and I go from there, but it's kind of like I said, in between modes, which is kind of weird. Maybe so I'm kind of baffled on where to start. So I'm going to open up this packet and let's take a look at his accessories in this mode. That he's packaged with. Slide these out, and it never ceases to amaze me how they cheap out. If they use one color plastic, they'll take that same plastic and put it on everything. And I'm assuming they used the blue windshield here because they needed the blue windshield, and they just made his blast effects the same matching color. Well, they could have went and used, I believe some of these are Omega Supremes. I believe all of these are recycled from Omega Supreme, which I wasn't too happy about those. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them. And then there is the matrix effect. Is that 6? 6, 7 of them. There, I dropped one. There are 7 blast effects and the matrix effect. And here is his rifle. Looks like it folds up, maybe. Has a hinge in it. Yep, folds up. I think it just folds up and becomes his hot rod gun just like this, which is kind of clever. It's kind of, I mean, you see it folded up, but it's kind of clever how they try to pull off both guns, because you can see the Generation 1 hot rod gun right here where it stops. So that is kind of cool. Then he's got these smoke effects, which is like the most polluting, atmospheric, terrible, bad energon running on smoke effects you ever seen. It's like all black. No, it's a dark blue. It might be some black painted over this blue, because when the light hit it just right, you can see the blue, and I can see the cameras picking that up. So they just hit it with some black, which is, I guess they were. I mean, this is what I mean. They couldn't be bothered to use more than one color plastic. I wouldn't be surprised if this fin, just like the masterpiece, and it looks like I can see the blue bleeding through. I bet you this, yeah, you see it right here. They just, I mean, they just totally cheaped out. And you know it's going to scrape and come off, and then you're going to have the blue plastic. How come they just couldn't use a damn piece of yellow? I wish they had went with the yellow on this and yellowed all of these parts out. I mean, really, you know, oh, I mean, I think that is terrible. People complained about it on the masterpiece, which will make it appear sometime in this review. And here it is again. Oh, that just sucks. So let's, before the review gets all over the place, let's just take a look at what we have. We have the silver pipes going down the side. God knows they couldn't chrome it. And then look at the unpainted rims. I mean, that, ugh. All right, I'm going to bring out real quick. This is Jazz from the 1986 movie studio series Wave. And they painted the rims. I mean, this is a Commander class figure. And they didn't even bother painting the rims. And hell, look. Not even on the trailer, they didn't paint any of the rims. This, I mean, that's some cheap out ass shit. It already looks to be substandard and out of its class, bumped up for more pricing. But man, then I mean, that just looks bad. And I know some people would say, well, you could easily just paint the rims. Yeah, but we shouldn't have to. $80? I mean, damn. I mean, it just bothers me. And I started not to get it. I'm telling you, I started not to get it. So, I forgot what I was doing. So let's take a look at this thing. Let's see if the cockpit opens, the window driver's portion. Nope, I think that's just transformation. You can get it open. I guess if you want to pretend like someone was climbing there for some quick stop motion and close it back, but yeah. Now it's coming apart already. Let's see. All right, let's get him down and see if he rolls. And he's rolling pretty good. A lot of times the plastic wheels on my glass surface right here don't roll pretty well, but they're rolling pretty good. He has some clearance under there for that, and I don't know if I showed the underside. This is underside. You kind of see the figure. And it's not bad underneath. All right, I'm going to quit complaining. Let's get into the actual review finally after like 10 minutes. The paint job looks good on the front of the hood. The Autobot logo right here is done pretty good, and the flames painted underneath, that looks pretty good. You can see where it continues to robot mode through the translucent blue windshield. The headlights look like they could have used, at least on this side, a heavier coat of spray. It's probably just mine for the headlights. But there is a lot of molded in detail on this thing, and I believe this isn't, I refer to it as hot rod mode, but I think this is supposed to be the hot RODIMUS mode, where actually what he is underneath that was depicted in the cartoon a few times, where the trailer would just connect to him, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Again, I wish they had did chrome, but we're probably not going to get that anymore on the pipes. They look pretty good. Only thing about the pipes is there's no definite start and finish. You know, where they come out of the vehicle and then go back. You don't know starts here, or whatever, because I was designed. Feet hanging out in the back, it's not too bad. A little bit of gap in here, but you know they're going to have to put the parts somewhere. So it's pretty cool overall, and it is hefty. It has some weight to it. This thing is completely solid, and I think I mentioned the windshield. I think it opens just for transformation, but you can pry it open a little bit to kind of get some pictures out of it or something like that. But that's that, and then I pop things loose. So I'm going to put this thing down and check out the trailer. All right, here is the trailer. All right, I had to get a better grip on this thing. Here's the little peg, and that's the little port. And I guess it go in a few different places, but this is the central one, and there we go. Got it on there. Extend these back up. And it can rotate on this peg. Well, rotate on this peg. I'm not exactly sure which way it goes. It's meant to go that way. Turn the gun around. This rotates. And again, it does not extend. Get these little handles back up. And I guess I'll take a further look at this when I get RODIMUS in this robot mode. Or maybe, does it extend? What is this? Oh, that's a stand from the other mode. blast shields out, and here you go. And scoot this back and go back to this mode right here, because I'm going to do some comparisons before I move on. I want to bring out the Generation 1. And again, technically, this isn't in a hot rod mode. It's more of a hot RODIMUS, a go-between mode that we've seen in the cartoon a couple times. And I will get to that. Here he is with the Generation 1 version. And you know what, I'm just going to keep going. Here he is with the 1986 Studio Series version of himself. You can see a size difference here. And let's bring out the Masterpiece version. Just go full blast here. Just the camera. See how it scales. He's actually thicker than a Masterpiece version. I don't know if I would say bigger. Alright, let's bring this over and see if we can get it transformed. Alright, I'm going to just let the handles down and lower this thing. I think these panels go down to the bottom like that. Bring this panel forward right here. If it's going to stay right there. Let up this garbage truck door. And I guess till it locks, and then close this door. This thing right here has a port on it to plug in the other play sets from like the Titans Return line, all the way back to Titans Return line. Close this thing down. Bring these panels up. I think, you know, wait. Let me back it up a little bit. Put this down, then bring these panels up. And mine isn't quite clipping in like it should be. Let me back it up and see what I did. Oh, this little gun thing is a little notch right here. And a tab right there where it's supposed to go in. Secure that. Try moving these handles this way. See if I get a better result. Alright, I sort of kind of hear a click right there. And again, but it's not. Mine's not coming together. I don't know if I got something wrong. I push down all the way. Well, let me lift it up and move these shin guard things. See if it sits down a little bit better. Again, I hit a click, 2 clicks, and I still got this split. You know what, I'm going to keep moving on, and I'll check that out in a minute. So let's take hot RODIMUS and see if we can get them inside. I don't know if I got to lift these up or what. What does that do? They're on the spring. I don't know what's up with that. So we slide this thing in, and because this thing is painted, just like the original Masterpiece MP09 version, it would scrape right off. So I'm hoping I don't get scrapage. Sliding it in here. And there he is. Pipe's not lined up too great right here. Let me see if my hot RODIMUS is tabbed in well. Okay, so you can get a little bit better. And here it is. And look at this elongated part right here. And the funny thing is, he was actually drawn kind of funky like this once or twice. Oh, let me show you. Let me show you. I'm going to put in the clip where he actually transforms into the hot RODIMUS mode. And then the trailer comes in and connects to him, and he drives off.
That was a barrel of laughs.
The lack of paint on the rims just really makes it look cheap. It would like kind of pull it all together if these were silver. Here is the Masterpiece. People once really dogged this version, complained about the tabs in the panel and some breakage, but this is still to this day the best RODIMUS Prime in existence. This thing looks gorgeous, totally movie accurate and animation accurate with the chrome and the rubber. I mean, it is amazing. All right, now I'm going to bring out the Generation 1 version. Check these guys out side by side. And again, the rubber and the chrome. That really sucks. And like I say, this panel keeps popping out. And speaking of this panel, I'm glad it's popping out because we get an attack mode out of this thing. What you do is you rotate the top turret around to the front. And this is cool. This should have been purposed in the G1. Close this back up, and the little latch right here that won't close allows this gun to come out. And put this back in place. And now you get an attack mode out of your RODIMUS Prime, which again should have been there. This is the most clever part. It is pretty amazing. And I don't think I talked about the blast, the weathering effect, like the soot marks right here, which looks pretty good, like he's been busting Decepticons for a long time now. It's got a lot of soot and scorching up there. That looks really good. And even still, this thing won't latch together. Period. These are the smoke effects. Yeesh. This has to be the most energetic pollutant effect ever. These old dark soot, mud, oil slick looking. They got the nerve to have it glow. I should at least use the flat finish. But they poured on to the one little peg sticking off, and there you go. And I mean, I've seen people videos where they're like, yeah, this is so awesome, but it looks kind of crap, especially because it's like glossy. I mean, when's the last time you seen glossy smoke? It looks more like an oil slick or sludge coming out of his pipes, which isn't very good. I mean, if they get a Nemesis version, that'd be great, but this is just a bad choice right here to go with this crap. And you could take the blast effects. He has some tail pipes or some ports under here anyway. I don't know if they're tailpipes. Put these back here. And he can get turbo boost. And he has ports everywhere. You can store his gun, his weapon, right there. You can move it up here. Put it right there. And he also has a storage tray underneath. I think they got this off the MP44 thing where you can put his accessories. And I don't think everything stores in here, but most of the stuff can store in here. I don't know, everything might be able to store. I don't know. I don't think that gun's going in there. All right, I took a peek at the instructions. You know, I try not to use the instructions, but I was curious to see if all these parts can actually fit in there if you put them in there perfectly. But this is what the instruction has: the matrix effect and the smoke effect. And why store the matrix, the smoke effect in here in this mode is like beyond me. But yeah, another feature of the trailer is this opening door. You can open this part up and let down the little ramp, I guess, to load some Autobots up. And the trailer door is on a die-cast hinge, which looks very cool. It's plastic and die-cast. That looks really cool right there. And if you wanted to, you can take Generation 1 Hot Rod for a ride. Alright, let's get RODIMUS into his robot mode. Bring this guy forward. I think the first thing we're going to do is loosen up the arms. Take these parts out right here. Bring them down to the side. Then I'm going to take the front of the car. Pull it loose. This is the head right here. Remove the back of the car if I can. This is the part. I think, wait, we got to wiggle the legs loose. Like that. Now we can pop this up and sort of kind of pull this away from the vehicle a little bit. Like this. Then now we're going to rotate the arms like in the animated movie. Oh, sometimes he transformed several different times in animated movies. So we're going to rotate these arms right here. And then at this point, we're going to hinge the arms down into this gap. And you got to get it all the way down. See how I pushed it down? It's still on an angle. You got to get it down. And there's a tab right here and a port right there. And we got to lock that in. There we go. For the shoulders. Same thing on this side. I got to do it in reverse because I'm dominantly right-handed. Okay, wait. Can't see it. So switch it to the left hand. We don't know how it's going to go. Tab it right into here. There we go. It's a little tricky because it's that double hinge and it wants to come right back out. So we're going to move this up. I'm going to come down to his feet. Untap it right here. And unhinge the leg at this point. Now, for the foot, no, well, let's do this side. Unhinge this leg. Same thing on this side. And rotate the waist. Now we have the front of the robot coming together. I'm going to turn them around. And we have to sort of accordion double hinge this thing. Wait, got to collapse the tire. In the Masterpiece version, the front tire collapses as well. And you got to kind of double hinge this back till it snaps. And it kind of sorts, the wheel slots into this slot right there. And we close this part up. And same thing on this side. Got to double collapse the tire. Then hinge this back till it pops. And it goes right in there. Bring this side around, close it up. Down for his feet. Bring his feet around. Swing it open. Back and like that. Alright, same thing on this side. That's a little tricky because of the way the hinge works. Unfold it and put it back into place. Bring this around. Now you take the front part of Rodimus and kind of like chest and move it back into place right here. I don't think it snaps in. Then there's a port right here and a little locking system right there. Put that in right there. Snaps in pretty tight. Now you take this part, rotate it around. There is a port in this windshield and a tab right here on this black part. And you got to kind of smoosh it down, line it up, then push it in. You really got to kind of feel for it. Wait, got to move these parts down too. Sorry. Collapse these little pieces right here, down here. And now see if we can snap that in right there. And here we have Rodimus. Oh, no. Forgot about these. Have to take this little part. No, wait. Fold this whole section around to the back, and then take this part and fold it around, if I'm doing it correctly, hinge it around, and it comes up and makes part of his forearm, the bottom of his forearm. I'm supposed to tab in right here. I'm making it harder than what it is, and this part closes up the inner forearm. And the other side, hopefully I can do a little bit better on this side. Swing it around, boom. Just get his arm forward. Close this up. Just get it snap in, rotate this around, and snap it in right there. And he cleans up pretty nicely for this robot mode. It's a little bit smaller than I thought or had hoped he would be. I think I got it all locked in pretty good. Let's take a look around. The chest doesn't quite look right. So let me pause and see if I can smush the chest in a little bit more. See if that's a problem or not, or if that's just the way it is. It might just have that little bit of a gap. So give me a sec. You have to play around with it a little bit. I kept trying to push it in, but actually the chest snaps down. Alright, didn't hear the snap, but I kept pushing it in, but it just snaps down, and then you push it in, and then it's locked into place and looks better on the side. So yeah, I had to feel around a little bit to have it do that. And these leg panels, they actually supposed to clip in right here. I kind of had them hanging out a little bit, but even though I found out where they go, as you can see, they still pop out. Yeah, but they go right in there. And here's your Rodimus Prime Kingdom figure. He's out of his price point class range to me. The head comes forward. It was sitting back on me, but it comes forward in a little neck. And it's impressive that they have an actual neck in there, not just the ball under there. I wish he had a longer neck, get his head up a little bit higher. Anyway, let's take a look at his face. He has blue painted eyes, silver face, and you can see the maturity or aging on his face that makes him Rodimus. Looks pretty good. He has a red helmet with more red paint around here, a lighter red paint going half of the helmet right here, which makes it look cool. Silver on the forehead, some silver on the shoulders. The flame that we saw in vehicle mode on his chest. The front of the car basically is his chest. Not a whole lot of paint apps going on. But yeah, he actually looks pretty good. He's a little bit smaller than I hoped for being a commander class, but I guess he has to scale with the other figures. He has some more red, lighter red paint apps, or a flat red paint app right here and right here. And that's it. What you see is like black plastic and red plastic and some gray plastic right here. The back looks good, cleans up good. There's a tiny bit of hollowing right there, but that's where the hinges are. But they made this thing look really good. I think this robot mode is an 8 out of 10 just visually. Let's see how it holds up. But the spoiler, man, you could just see the blue bleeding through. I hope I don't have too much light on that. You can see it. This should have been done in yellow plastic. That is a bonehead, lazy move. And for some reason, I got some orange splotch right here on my yellow. And I got some scrapage right here already. And you could just, the blue bleed is in every line piece on here. Man, that sucks. We just couldn't get a yellow piece right here to make this an even better figure. Let's do articulation. Get a 360 out of his head. Boom. Some side to side. We can get a couple different expressions because it's on a ball joint. He can look down this far, which is pretty good, like he's talking to Spike or Daniel. His shoulder with 360, but we got the spoiler right there. But I guess you sort of kind of get it around if you want to. Chest just came loose a little bit, but he has a full range there other than the back kibble holding it back. You can get this shoulder up this high because of this joint right here, which I think is a really cool joint on this guy. Hot Rod suffered on his joints a lot. You can bring it around to the front like that. You can check the time on his wrist. Yeah, so his elbow bend, you can get a full 90 out of that. His elbow bend comes up this far, which is awesome. He has a swivel at the bicep, fully 360 in. Coming to his wrist, his hand 360. It comes in and out, has a wrist hinge, and that is not transformation because the hand just sits there in transformation. In his fingers, he has a masterpiece style finger system where the 3 fingers are on the one joint and move independently if I can get them. Oh no, actually it's a false. I thought it was, but it just moves right here. It moves on this joint right here, and then the finger is articulated separately. It has 2 points of articulation like that, and you can fold it up and have him giving orders. Put together an assault force. We're going after them. So that is that. His waist. Can we get 360? No. Let me see if we can get that around. Yeah, we can move the backpack up and get a full 360 out of that if we wanted to. We so chose to, but the backpack comes loose. But you can get it and pop it back in, no problem. His waist, he has skirts right here. I thought he had, skirts on the side. I could have swore these were skirts on the front. But, okay, the whole piece moves as one unit. Get his leg out this far to the front. So we can hold it, stand up on one leg perfectly. That is awesome. Leg that far. Boot Decepticon in their retro charger. Taking that same leg and moving it back this far. Not really that far back because it's hitting his hip right here. It's not the backpack. It's this part right here. This hitting to the side. Get it this far to the side. It's not a whole lot, but that's pretty cool. That's enough. That's all you really need. That's all I really need, rather. Upper thigh swivel 360. This thing's popping loose again. It's not standing good. I don't know how well I got to transform. The tab might be weak. His knee has 2 hinges at his knee, has at the very knee itself, and then has a hinge where it connects to the shin right there, which is cool. And that's from the transformation mostly. You can get it back like this, and like you can just see all the dynamic poses you can get him in. Come to his foot, he has just a little rocker, not a lot. Probably do the transformation. I'm curious to see if we can get him kneeling like the episode Burden Heart is the Bear, like the masterpiece. Kind of sitting down on his butt, kind of. No, kind of close. Kind of close. But he has a lot of articulation in him. Can't really quite get him down like that. We can do the whole one knee thing. Should be able to do that, no problem. Yep. So that is cool right there. As an action figure, the look and the feel of the action figure. Oh, this little part right here, the tire, I missed this, and it did it by accident. The tire actually separates and pegs in the right here for his robot mode. And this is a little service because in the animation, you can still see the tire out the side, and you really can't see it right here on a toy. So what you do is you pop it open and like hinge it forward. Yes, I haven't done it before, so you got to kind of just mash the wheel forward and then lock it right into here. And because in the G1 animation, you could still see the tire a little bit from the front, and this actually gives you that, which is very subtle, but it's very cool that they put that in there. I am very, very impressed at that little small feature. All right, speaking of features in this mode, I guess the only real feature is the already revealed it, messed it up. The matrix of leadership in his chest, and it comes out, which is very cool to actually give him this. A lot of people complain about the size, and he can't really hold it, and can't get his fingers in it. Matrix, Matrix energy effect. Boom, there we go. And let's see how well, close up the chest. See how well he can hold it.
You got the Arise, Rodimus Prime.
Alright, we got it up a little bit higher. It looks a little bit better. But again, we're looking at all energy effect because the Matrix is so tiny. But we all understand what was going on here. Alright, continuing with his accessories. Here is this laser rifle right here. And let's see if Hot Rod can hold this gun. It should. Like, the hand is already shaped like the peg. And without even closing his hand, it just goes right in there. Looks really cool. And because of his articulation, he should have no problem holding it with two hands. But it's nothing better than an action figure to hold a gun, especially a rifle, with two hands. I think that's very important. And they did that here, which kudos to Hasbro for doing it. One thing they should have did, but they didn't. When you fold this up, and I guess it just folds up for storage, they could have had a little port right here. So you can put this on here and make it like just a pistol. But since they didn't do that, I'm assuming this is just for storage and not two guns in one. But anyway, you can add the blast effect. We already did that, but add a blast effect to this, making it even longer. Alright, the last accessory he comes with is this sword. What a sword comes from and what it's about, I do not know. I'm not one to look the gift accessory in the mouth, but it's just like, it's curious. We've never seen him, at least I've never seen him wield a sword. And yet here's the sword. Now, but it is Rodimus Prime's sword. I guess this is the sword of the Primes. We can get it in his dang on hand. And here it is in his hand. So now he can just chop Decepticons like we've never seen chop before. And I'm pretty sure it comes from somewhere. A lot of times they're just not going to just make something up and put it in a figure like this when they could have put other things like Energon Cube, Quintesson Tentacle, or something like that in the package. And we can kind of get two hands on that thing just like that, which is very cool. Pulls Rodimus around. And of course it stores on his back. He just popped a little peg out right there, put in this hole. And now he has it stored on his back like He-Man. Rodimus, dun, 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 by the power of the Matrix. Dun, dun. It looks just like he can reach back and pull it out. And I don't know if you can keep doubling up the weapons. Let's see if this fits in that port. Yep, you can keep stacking the weapons up. And you can put his gun and sword back there and have him run around with the whole thing right there on his back. Alright, before I get Rodimus in the trailer and interact with that, I want to get a shot of all my Hot Rods and Rodimus Primes. Masterpiece MP09, Studio Series 1986 movie Hot Rod, Generation 1 Hot Rod, Generation 1 Rodimus Prime, and Masterpiece, I forget his designation, Hot Rod, and Commander Class Rodimus Prime. Alright, here he is next to Earthrise Optimus Prime and Generation 1 Optimus Prime. And last but not least, this is how he scales with Kingdom Galvatron.
This is the end of the road, Galvatron.
Alright, I want to finish up with Rodimus on the combat deck. He stands on this side, or I guess has more room over here. Let's get him swivel around, get him up here. And pretty sure he can hold the handles, probably the same exact same port. Yeah, which is cool. He can actually man the gun. Unlike the G1, he just kind of stood behind it and made it blast mentally. Looks pretty cool. I don't think he ever did this not one time in the original cartoon. And you can take the blast effects, the boom, 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 and port them in. And you can do them all different combinations of ways and have one blasting. So he sits up there. As far as his weapons, I think they plug into the combat deck. Get the camera down. There's so many ports in here that they should, like, okay, there's the main blaster, and maybe these things you can put them in. I don't know if, I don't think it'll just flat out store, but you can put those in there like it's taking a hit. I think this is about it for the combat deck mode. There's really not a lot you can do other than just pose it around, but you can pose it around. You can lift the gun up. I get them all in, have them blasting high in the sky. You can tilt it down, shoot somebody rolling up on him. And since it's on a peg, it swivels. You can turn it, and he kind of sort of moves right with it. So that is really cool as far as play factor and play feature. All right, you know what? I said the heck with it. Just scrolls all three of my Rodimus Primes in on their combat deck for one shot. All right, Trans Fam, the wrap up this review. The figure itself, the Rodimus Prime body and everything, this thing is a 9 out of 10. It's excellent. Everything tabs together. The shoulders you would think like might want to pop out, but they don't. The backpack doesn't pop off. Nothing pops off. These little pieces right here, but when they do come loose, they're not flopping around. So that's probably the only thing that's not tabbing in really good on mine. But it is excellent. We get the pointing finger with this guy. The only thing I really don't like is the fact that they didn't make this yellow plastic. And I really think that's a bummer and a shame because it's going to scrape off. It's going to come off. So why didn't they just go full? $80, give me another piece of plastic, a yellow plastic for this tail fin. I love the fact that it's like super large. You know, when I first saw it, I thought I wasn't going to really feel it, but I love the fact it makes him look beefier. The face looks good, but there's nothing really that I don't like about this main figure right here. If I had a wish list, I would have wished these things were chrome, and maybe if they could have did the face in like a pale white, sort of like the Masterpiece, or the vintage version like this. I kind of like that, but that's just a personal preference. Other than that, there's nothing wrong with this thing. The gun is cool. I really can't say anything bad about the main body. Truly, it is an excellent figure. In the trailer is pretty cool. It's pretty playable. I really didn't love it in full Rodimus Prime trailer mode. It just seemed a little bit too long, just elongated. It just didn't look very cartoon accurate or G1 accurate at all. And the biggest bummer is the price point. It took all of this to get it to a commander class level. And I kind of get that because it's a lot going on with it. And you know what I didn't like? I did not like these smoke effects like oil slick, or it shouldn't have been gloss. It should have been a flat finish if they were going to do it. But they should have used like a gray plastic. Just anyway, not just this black smoke. You know, he's just polluting the atmosphere as an Autobot. You know, I think this was totally out of place. And that's not even huge. My biggest thing was the price point. And do I feel like I got a commander class toy out of it? I see everything we got. Don't get me wrong, but when we talk Rodimus, we talking main body. I'm bringing commander class Skylinks. I can even get them in. Look at this. I can't even get them in. I mean, that's a whole lot of damn toy. And I'm going to bring in commander class Jetfire. That is a whole lot of toy. I mean, he's getting swallowed up in there. And in order to get my money's worth and my feel out of it, I got to slide in the trailer, which, I don't know. I don't know how cool that is. So that's my real gripe. It took the trailer to put it into that class. They should have found a new classification like Leader Plus or something and added $10 to a Leader class figure and gave us this. Because overall, like, because I understand what they did to price all this in. You could say this is just another part like Skylink splits in part. But I believe that my $80 was so much better spent on Jetfire and Skylinks than it was Rodimus. But I don't dislike it. I start off disliking it, and I actually do like it. And if you're a hot rod Rodimus Prime fan, I do recommend it, actually. But man, hopefully it go on clearance and somebody get a good price. It might wind up at Ollie's. You never know. But that's all I got. I want to thank everybody out there for joining me for another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.